Welcome to Sneed and William's Science Show. I'm William Logian, and unfortunately Mason won't be on the show today. I know, it's very sad. We'll have to catch him on the next week's episode. Well then, as the de facto computer scientist on this show, I feel this duty, or maybe it's an inclination honestly, to talk at length about AI. It's everywhere, and like the rest of the media, it consumes most of my waking attention. One of my favorite AI doomsday scenarios actually comes from Frank Herbert's Dune. Herbert didn't just blame the AI itself. He focused on humanity's over-reliance on it. The people behind the AI and the ones relying on it were the bad guys, not the AI itself. In his world, people end up banning AI altogether. A drastic reaction, but one that makes you wonder, could we be headed down the same path? Now, I'll be real. I like to talk about transformer architectures and deep learning and all the technical stuff just as much as the next guy. It's a golden age for tech geeks like myself. But let's be real, we're overselling the AI industry hard. And either it is set for a collapse or we're going down with it as it grows too big. This isn't just about economics, though the AI hype does feel kind of like the dot-com bubble. I'm talking about what this might mean for our day-to-day lives, at work and at school. If the AI god emperors are to be believed, it's all supposed to get better with time. But let's look at what's happening right now. Take LLMs. They're incredible for learning. They're also an excellent tool for cheating. The difference? It's the person behind the screen. A motivated student uses ChatGPT to get explanations, to clarify tough concepts, to make study guides or quizzes and test themselves. Meanwhile, we'll say a less motivated student just copy-pastes their homework and turns in their generated answers. Both are using AI, but the outcomes couldn't be more different. One is genuinely learning, the other is outsourcing their education. This doesn't stop with academia. Imagine this playing out in the professional world. If engineers GPT'd their way through undergrad, what do we get? We get under-socialized, overpaid, and inexperienced tech workers in charge of our infrastructure and defense systems. Boeing. Software may be even more vulnerable than other fields, with interns who rely on AI for most of their tasks. And that's fine if AI is used to assist with repetitive tasks or as a research tool, but as a crutch, that's a dangerous game. Now I hear you saying, but William, doesn't this make these fields more accessible? So what if people use AI to do the work? As long as it gets done, why does it matter if they know why it works? Of course you would think that. Let me tell you why it matters. Do we already forget about CrowdStrike? If programmers don't understand the low-level foundations of their work, what happens? Big mistakes get made, innovation suffers, quality declines, salaries drop, and teams get laid off. If we're all using AI as a crutch, we risk creating a generation of expert beginners, as Primogen called them. People who can make stuff, reiterate what exists, they might even be able to solve some bugs, but they lack the solid understanding necessary to fuel any real forward growth in the industry. Now here's the twist. In a world where shortcuts are everywhere, the people who don't take the easy route, the ones who do the due diligence, who dig into the difficult concepts, they're going to be the ones who stand out. Those who put in the time, who struggle through understanding the complex systems behind the models, and the ones who decide to build everything the old-fashioned way being on their own, they're the ones who will lead the industry. AI might make entry easier, but in a way it's also setting a higher standard. The skill gap will widen, and the engineers who truly understand their work will shine even brighter. In the end, this might make good engineers not only better, but also rare and much more valued. And ironically, AI itself can end up undermining its own industry. As more and more of us rely on AI to do the work without actually doing the work, we risk stalling out the innovation engine. Who's going to advance the field if everyone's learning the same algorithms and using the same pre-trained models? If we're all just remixing the same AI-generated content, the creative and technical breakthroughs that drive progress are going to be harder to come by. In the short term, this might feel like productivity on overdrive, but long term, we could be setting ourselves up for a creative and intellectual drought. Consider what's happening in software development right now. There's already a growing split between people who genuinely understand code, down to the way that data is moving through the hardware, and people who can just get by with a few React frameworks and Copilot. We have web developers who still don't understand how HTTP servers work. And as AI takes on more of the grunt work, that gap is only going to widen. This isn't just speculation, we're already seeing it. I mean, think about the state of cybersecurity. Hackers and bad actors are only getting smarter, and yet most of the new generation of cybersecurity experts might be less prepared than ever to handle them. Why? Because too many of them are learning through shortcuts. They're trained to use tools that were built by others without learning how to build or understand those tools themselves. It's like giving someone a scalpel and calling them a surgeon because they can follow a checklist until something goes wrong. This isn't just about keeping the gate closed to newcomers or defending some elite tech club. This is about preserving the integrity of these fields. When everyone's An expert because AI says they are, no one is. And that's dangerous, especially in areas like medicine, engineering, and law, where real lives and real consequences are on the line. It's not just the quality of the work that suffers, it's the trust we place in professionals. And honestly, where do we go from here? Do we put up stronger barriers, create AI literacy requirements, or more fundamentally, do we have to rethink how we approach learning in the AI era? AI isn't going away, and pretending otherwise is naive. But there's going to be a better way to integrate it into education and work without sacrificing genuine understanding. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week for another episode of Sneed and Williams Science Show on Wayne Hills TV.